Nation out there under center. And there's a bobbled snap. It's loose, and it's picked up. It's picked up, and Colorado's running in another direction. Running at the 50, on his way. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Jack Lamb on a bobbled snap, and goal to go from the 3. The Notre Dame transfer picked it up and ran it all the way back to the south end zone.
A phenomenal defensive play on a bobbled snap and a long touchdown by linebacker Jack Lamb. The Buffaloes go on for a 20-17 victory over the Washington Huskies on Senior Day here at Folsom Field. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Buffalo Stampede. Coach Gary Barnett, voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. Is that what you call a grinded-out victory for the Buffaloes?
That was a grinded-out victory. And, you know, what was cool, I think, was for Jack Lamb, who, you know, made a change, left Notre Dame, came here. He's gone through 10 games now, and he's played a little bit. Starting to play more, but to have a big play like that in his final game here, or possibly his final game here, so cool to see him run it down there. And he could take off and he could go. Now we ought to play him a running back a little bit, but you know, just the whole defense. I think we said in the keys to victory that we needed to create some turnovers, and that's just what we did. Quarterback threw us 2, they fumbled 2. You know, you get 4 turnovers, you should win. You should win every game, even though our offense struggled throughout the game. Early on had a nice drive, but then really struggled putting anything together after that.
Until you got late in the game, and then they had a long 80-yard drive. Buffs hadn't forced many turnovers this year. They were down near the bottom of the conference. They forced 4 here today. Now, somebody may hear you and say, but Coach Barnett said the Buffaloes gave up 420-some yards of offense, and that was a good performance. What you're talking about is making key plays in key situations.
Exactly, right? Getting turnovers. And, you know, they did have one big play on us, 58-yarder, that brought it 20-17, and got everybody nervous again, but we slipped on that. But every other play, for the most part, we kept the ball in front of us. Yeah. We made them go the whole distance, and that's what you want to do as a defense, make them go the whole distance. And they proved to us that they couldn't do it. You know, they only did it one time. So that's the kind of game you need to have as a defense, especially when it's been banged up as much as ours.
You know, you think of that old adage you hear all the time, bending not breaking. That was the epitome of what the Buffs did defensively in this ball game. On Senior Day, I always like to have those guys that walk on this field for the last time. I mean, a lot of tears as you saw them walk up the field. Carson Wells was phenomenal in this game. In his final game in a Buff uniform at home, he has 9 tackles, a couple of sacks, 3 tackles for a loss, a pass breakup, a couple of quarterback hits. He was everywhere in this game.
Well, and Carson has really come on the last couple of years. You know, he was a guy that played, but he didn't have a lot of productivity until these last 2 years, and now he led the Pac-12 in tackles for a loss last year, or the country. He was one of the upper echelon guys, and this year he's had the same kind of season. And you know, we'd all love to have seen Nate Landman play his last home game here, but it just wasn't to be. But Carson sort of played in his place. He sort of played for him and with him and through him, and it was cool to see. You know what I always thought, Mark, is I wonder if he ought to do Senior Day on the first game of the year. Right. And you know, let them know that the
end is near.
The end is near. Yeah, and see how they play. So I don't know, but it was a great victory for the seniors, that's for sure.
Yeah, without question. Offensively, the struggles, it was kind of second, first, same as the first, that it kind of raised its ugly head again. We couldn't find any traction on offense. Now, they made some key plays when they had to again, but boy, it was a struggle.
It was a struggle, and it's been a struggle all year, and we've been there for all of it. But you know, that's something that probably isn't going to get fixed until the off season, until next fall. And my guess is we're going to see the same thing next week, and just going to have to find a way to win. And that's who these guys have been. We haven't gone out and really pounded anybody. We've hung on and found victories here. Not enough of them, but we found some.
But the Buffaloes at home. And by the way, early this week we found out that Colorado was number 2 in the Pac-12 this season in attendance. That home crowd of Buff Nation has been rewarded. Colorado ends up going 4-2 here at Folsom Field. That's the Coach Gary Barnett. Coming up next here on the Buffalo Stampede, our silent reporter Andy Lindahl is going to join us.